The day I lied. And everything changed. Part 1. A lie at 5 p.m. I still remember the scent of government corridors, the cold stone floors, the murmurs of interns and the anxious tapping of heels. I wasn't supposed to be there, and I certainly wasn't the niece of the committee head. But I said I was. My uncle is expecting me. 5 o'clock. I'm the niece of the committee head. It was a long shot, but desperation makes you brave or stupid. I had just left a marriage that lasted 3 months. 3 months of being a wife, and a lifetime of regrets packed in between. He wanted a housewife. I wanted the world. So I packed up my degrees, my broken heart, and boarded a train to the capital. And now, here I was, bluffing my way into the Ministry of Tourism. The secretary raised an eyebrow. I don't see anything in the schedule. Yes, of course. He's very busy. Here's my CV, maybe this will clarify. She scanned the pages. Something about me, or maybe something in her day, made her nod. Have a seat. He'll be free in a few minutes. That few minutes turned into 15. I sat there, clinging to the thin thread of hope I had spun from a lie. Then the door creaked. A voice young, curious, amused. Is the head in? The secretary looked up. No, deputy head. He's at the committee hall. Who's this? She says she's the head's niece. Here for a meeting. He looked at me. Tall, dark suit, bright eyes with mischief tucked beneath his polite smile. He tilted his head. Well, since you're already here, would you like to come to my office while you wait? I stood quickly. With pleasure. Thank you. That was how I met Aigerim. Part 2. The Spark. His office smelled like books and expensive tea. He gestured for me to sit, and asked what I came for. I want to be useful, I said. I studied strategic tourism. I speak 4 languages. I heard the Olympic Games will be hosted here, and I want in. Aigerim didn't just listen. He noticed. Every detail, every word. He asked about my experience, my hometown, my ideas on infrastructure and international cooperation. You know, he said, dialing his phone. We need someone like you. Right now. I know a team preparing the nutrition and logistics for Olympic athletes. If you're willing, I can send you today. My jaw nearly dropped. Are you serious? Always, he said, smiling. He handed me a small folder. Go to this address. You're expected. Part 3. The Offer. I arrived breathless, still wondering if this was all real. The branch director, a tall, stern woman with a kind smile, reviewed my CV and nodded. You're just what we need. Strategic, multilingual, experienced. Can you start Monday? I can start today. That night, lying on a mattress in a rented room barely bigger than my suitcase, I stared at the ceiling, whispering thanks to God. And to Aigerim. Part 4. Days of progress, nights of thought. The weeks became months. I became the lead on athlete nutrition protocols, liaising with international sports agencies and tourism ministers. My guidebooks became standards. My name, once unknown, circled in policy meetings. And in all those meetings there was Aigerim. We never discussed my fake identity. He never mentioned the niece story. We were professionals, visionaries, strategists. But sometimes, when our eyes met across the conference room, something electric passed between us. Part 5. Madrid. Our first major trip was to Spain. We were to present our model for sustainable tourism tied to Olympic infrastructures. The presentation was perfect, but that night, I couldn't sleep. I walked down the hotel hallway, barefoot, nervous, and knocked on his door. He opened it almost immediately. Can't sleep either, he said. We talked about policy, about childhood, about regret, and then silence. And then his hand touched mine. He kissed me like he had been waiting since the day I lied about being someone else. And I kissed him back like I had been waiting for someone to see the real me. We spent the night tangled in sheets and dreams. Part 6. Business and Secrets. After Spain came Istanbul, then Moscow. Our business trips became more frequent and more intimate. Back home, we were careful, always careful. No late dinners, no lingering in hallways. But abroad, we were a hidden flame, burning slowly. He never promised me love. I never asked. But somewhere between flight itineraries and UN briefings, I fell for him. Hard. Part 7. Silent questions. I never asked if he was married. Maybe I didn't want to know. Maybe I already knew. But there was a weight in his silence. A boundary in our embraces. Like he was always holding something back. Still, I didn't stop. And neither did he. Part 8. The end of the games? The games came and passed. A shining success. Our country dazzled the world. And I stood behind the curtain of ceremony with pride. When the branch office dissolved into smaller sectors, I was called back to the ministry. This time not as a guest, but as a director. Director of Strategic Development. Aidan was gone. Transferred quietly to a diplomatic post tied to the UN. No goodbye. No letter. Just absence. Part 9. The Truth and Goodbye. I was finally summoned to the office of the real committee head, the one I had lied about knowing. I smiled nervously. First of all, my apologies. I introduced myself as your niece. That wasn't true, but I hope my work has proven itself. He laughed. You're the woman who created the International Athlete Guidebook. I've known about you long before this. Relief washed over me. As I left, a colleague whispered something that stopped my breath. You know Aidan's married, right? 2 kids. Wonderful family. He's in Geneva now. I nodded. It didn't hurt. Not in the way I thought it might. Part 10. Her peace. That night, I walked alone along the city boulevard. Lights flickered above. The air smelled of summer and possibility. I whispered a prayer of thanks. Not just for the job, the title, or the chance I had taken, but for Aidan. He never promised anything, but he opened a door I could never have knocked on. And through that door, I walked into my life. Outro, reflections. They say lies catch up to you, but sometimes they set you free. It was one sentence. I'm the niece of the committee head. That changed everything. No, he wasn't mine. And maybe he never was meant to be. But what he gave me was enough. My name is Aigerim. And this was how I became a woman who built her life. On a day that began with a lie. Amen.